Hello friends, welcome to Java IO tutorial. In this video, we are going to look at the file class in java.io package. So using this file class, you can read the file property, list files in the directory. So both we can do. So the name here is file class, but the file class can represent a file as well as a directory. Here you will learn the function exist. That means once you specify a path, here you will specify a path to a folder or a file name. It will be a fully qualified path like C temp. So if you leave it like this, then it's a directory. It is represented by the file. Or if you specify a specific file text.txt, then the same file class can be used to represent a actual file. So do not get confused with this file class. It is not meant to represent only the file, but it can represent a directory as well. So say for example here C temp txt.txt. So the exist function will tell the specific file exists on that directory. That means you can create a file object by specifying there's a fully qualified path. Then later you can check whether file exists. So even though the object is constructed, the exist function will check the specific file exists on the physical media. Next here, as we already told, the file can represent his file, file as well as directory. You can make use of his file. Similarly, you can make use of length function, which will tell the size of the file. Can write, these are all the attributes specific to your file. Can write, it can tell file can be returned. That means if a read-only attribute is set, the can write will return false. Similarly, you can check other attribute is hidden. Next, list files. So if it is a directory, say for example C temp, then list file will give all the files. So it will give file collection. So since it's a file collection, the subdirectory, inside temp we may have directory as well as file, but both are represented by the file class of java.io. So file class in java.io package is not meant to read or write a file. So it doesn't do any streaming, but the class is to access file related information like we saw in the previous slide. You can say a file is read only, or the file is hidden, what is the size of the file. So simply the file related information that can be retrieved using the file class of java.io package. For example, we can use this class to tell file is read only, its size in disk. A few frequently used functions are below. Exist, we already examined this. Is file tells whether a specific file instance is a file or a directory. So if it returns true, then it's a file, otherwise it's a directory. Length gives size of the file. Can write tells read-only attribute is set to the file or not. Hidden, the file is visible or not, or it is hidden. List files, if a file actually represents a directory, then within a directory you can list the collection of a file. Collection of file in the sense, as already told, file can represent a file as well as directory. So list file will list all the content of a specific directory. So the directory content can be a file or a subdirectory. So all those stuff will get returned. Simply we can say list files return a collection of files. So this is the example we are going to create. Here if you see, as we already told, here you can specify a directory or file. Then user can click on the get details button. So once they click get details, when the file exists, then the information will be retrieved and displayed here. So if a file is read only, you will be seeing a check mark here. Similarly other stuff, and whatever is specified here, if you see abc.txt is a file, so a check mark will not get placed here. But if you specify only ctemp, then it's a directory and you will be seeing a check mark here. This portion is a label. Here we just marked it as a placeholder, but in the sample application you won't see. Once you click get detail, then you will see some information get populated. So here we will be showing you the size of the file. After that, when you specify a directory content will get displayed on this TF files. It's a text area. That's all here. So you can look at the control names, txt file or directory, then checkboxes, read only, hidden, directory. This is the button, label, file size. Alright, so now we will go to the code. So btn get details action performed. So when you click this button, first we are getting the text from this location, from this text box. So a string is formed. After that, if you see here, we are constructing a new file from java.io.package, and what input we are passing is the information given here by the user. So the user can give a directory or they can give a fully qualified name of the file name. Fully qualified means from drive letter, path, after that the file name. Alright, so whether they give file or directory here, both is represented by this file instance. That's one point. Second, the file whatever we are giving here, that may exist on physical disk or not, it doesn't matter, you can still create the object. But the moment you check file or directory exists, the system will tell whether the file or directory exists on the physical medium. Here for example, c temp abc.txt. So if abc.txt exists, then this will return true and you will get inside this conditional statement. So after checking this file or directory exists, we check one more condition, is file. So if it is a file, then we make use of the function file_dir. File_dir is the one we constructed, file object here we constructed, and we are naming this as file_dir. File_dir can write. So this will return boolean true or false based on the attribute. So if a file is writable, then we say it here not we are using, right? That means when the file is read only, here it will return false and negation of that is true, and set selected we are setting it to true. That means you will be seeing a check mark here. So if it is read only. Similarly, is hidden. If a file is hidden, then we will be placing a check mark here. After that, we are getting the length of the file, and then this is long, right? We are converting that as a string and displaying some information on this table. The information is a file size, whatever is returned here. Say for example 1204, that's the file size 1204 bytes. All right, so that's for the file. If you actually specified your file, then we will be displaying this information. Otherwise, user specified a directory. Say for example, here gtemp is the directory, and it contains 1 2 3 4 5 2 directory and 3 files, but all are represented as file. In Java class object, whether it is a directory or file, both are represented by this file object. Alright, so in the else portion, if you see set selected true chk directory, why? Because it's not a file, so we place a check mark here stating that whatever you specified here is a directory. If user doesn't specify abc.txt, then it's a directory, and we will place a check mark here. After that, here if you see list of files, so list of files returns collection of file. So whatever you specified here, that you can use. All these functions are applicable now on this collection of file. All right, next we are getting files.length. So that means here, for example, this will return true if you specified a gtemp. Files.length. After that, we will do the iteration for int I equal to 0, I less than size, I plus plus. That means here we iterate, and using the index operator, we get a single file. For example, for the very first time, we will get player. Player is a directory. Then here in the data, we once again check his file, and if it returns true, we we form file, otherwise we say directory in the data. So the data will have ** file or ** directory based on whatever is currently iterated. Say for example, very first time we will be getting player. File of I is player, file of 0 is player. This file will return false, so you will go here and we print directory. After that, we say file.getName. So whether it is file or directory, the getName will return the name of the java.io.file. So here name is player, and when you are reading at this location, the name will be index.html, and we are appending that with the already formed information. So it says player directory video -3 files directory, then code.java file. Likewise, when we are iterating, we will print those information in the TF files. So this is a TF files, right? TF files. So that's all. Here you can see how we are constructing the file. After that, we make use of the function exist. Then we make use of can write hidden length list files. So these are all the functions we are using, but there are a lot of other functions available. You can explore the documentation to fully utilize the file. That's all. Now we will go to the design and implement this code. Now it's demo time. So we use java.io project, and in that we start adding our examples. Here we are creating a JFrame form, and we will name the class as Java IO file property example. Alright, now we will use this helper to design our form. We need a label, one more label, two label, and three label. So first what we will do, we will drag those labels. File or directory name with path. Next, files in directory. Then the third one is LBL file size. Here we are naming this because we need to access this label at runtime. LBL file size. Okay, and let us keep it here, and in properties we will assign this letter font. We'll just increase this font. Next we need this text box, and name is txt file or dir name. So in the next video onwards, I will not be going to do form design. Instead, I will directly specify this screenshot so that you can design design the form. Txt file or dir name. Vocaps. So this is variable name. You can keep whatever variable name you want, but when you download the code, this is the variable name we will refer. Next, the button is get details. That's the label. btn get details. After that, we have three radio buttons. I mean checkbox. here we will place directory. Next, the control names are chk hidden, chk read only, and chk directory. So now this is done, get details is done, this is also done. All three radio buttons are done, and only this is pending, and it is a combination of scroll pane as well as text area. So what we have to do first, we should go to container and drag and drop scroll pane here, because we need scrolling capability for our text area. So inside this scroll pane, we will drag and drop our Java Swing text area. Once you drop it, it will occupy the full space of the scroll pane. And you can see here, and it is still reading JText area, and the name is TA files, text area files. That's all. We are done with our form design. Now we will go to event action performed. That's all. Here we have to write our code. So in our first code snippet, we are importing file from java.io file, and we construct it from the user input here. Okay, just did the formatting. So if you see here, after constructing the file object, we check the file object exists. So if it exists, then we will come inside, and after that we are checking whether it is a file. So if it is a file, then we use the function can write, is hidden, length, all those stuff. So we will go to the directory later. Now at this stage itself, we can check. All right, we will build the sample at this stage. All right, build successful. Now we can run only this specific JFrame. Here I opened C drive temp, and here we will give C temp, then the file name is here we are using get details, and you can see file size 374 bytes. Here you can check that size is 374 bytes. All right, now we will set this file as read only as well as hidden. Now we will set this file as read only and hidden by placing this check mark. Now if you call get detail, you will be seeing a tick mark here. It's read only, and hit done. Here under the Explorer, view options, change folder option, view. By default we have show hidden files and folder, and if you want to change the hidden attribute back to non-hidden, then make sure this radio option is in a checked state. Now I am removing read only and hidden. If I run this again, you can see both the tick marks is gone. Alright, this way we got file attribute information. Next we will go to the else portion of this if condition. So if it is not a file, then it's a directory. So the source code is available in the video description. You can download and do copy paste, or you can type the code in our NetBeans IDE. So when it is not a file, then we come inside the else portion and we set the relevant checkbox, the directory checkbox. After that, these are all already explained in the PowerPoint slide. Now we will simply go ahead and run this. So let me type C temp. So it shows directory, all our file, right? Now let's go here and create some directory. Sample dir1, dir2. So sample dir1, it's a directory. Then it lists all the content inside this C temp. Also it is saying whether it is a directory or file. Alright. Hope this sample gave you an idea of how to use java.io.file package. I mean java.io is the package, file is the utility class name, and we constructed the file based on the user input. After that we used a variety of its functions. These are all the functions we used. Alright, that's all here in this video. Just now you saw the demo. Thank you for watching. Bye.